We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle wrote that 2,400 years ago, and somehow, most people still haven't figured out what it actually means. Think about a wall. Not a grand wall, not a castle, just a brick wall. A bricklayer doesn't build a wall in a day. He lays one brick, perfectly, then the next, then the next. The wall doesn't care about his mood that morning. It doesn't care about his ambitions or his dreams or his vision board. It only cares about the brick he lays today. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Your life in 2026 is being built the exact same way, right now, with the bricks you're laying today. And most people have no idea what bricks they're laying. Here's something that should make you stop and think. 40% of what you do every single day is not a decision. That's not a motivational quote, that's neuroscience. A 2006 study from Duke University found that nearly 40% of human behaviors on any given day weren't actual decisions. They were habits running on autopilot. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. If almost half your day is on autopilot, who programmed the autopilot? Because here's what actually happens. We drift into habits by accident, by environment, by default. The snooze button wasn't a choice, it became a ritual. The doom scrolling before bed wasn't a plan, it became a pattern. And those patterns are quietly, invisibly building your wall, brick by brick, whether you're watching or not. This is the hidden system most people never notice. Not a productivity hack, not a morning routine trend. A deeper truth about how human beings are actually wired. Let's go back to 1949. A young investor named Warren Buffett was 19 years old. He wasn't the richest man in the room. He wasn't even the smartest. But he did something strange. Every single day, without fail, he read 500 pages a day. Financial reports, history books, annual reports, anything he could get his hands on. He didn't do it because it felt exciting. He did it because of something he called compounding knowledge. The idea that knowledge, just like money, compounds over time. What you know today builds on what you knew yesterday. And eventually, the advantage becomes so large that it looks like genius from the outside. It wasn't genius, it was consistency. Now flip the story. Same decade, same era. Hundreds of investors just as smart as Buffett, maybe smarter. But their habits? Reactive, impulsive, inconsistent. They chased hot tips, switched strategies, consumed noise instead of signal. Where are they now? Nobody made a documentary about them. History has a consistent pattern. The people who win long-term are rarely the most talented. They're the most consistent. Charles Darwin didn't discover evolution in a flash of brilliance. He spent 20 years collecting, observing, writing, every day. His notebook habit ran to over 1 million words before he published a single sentence. Maya Angelou wrote every morning in a hotel room she rented specifically for that purpose. No phone, no visitors, just the habit. Benjamin Franklin tracked 13 virtues in a small notebook, every single day, for decades. He called it his project of moral perfection. He never achieved perfection, he said so himself. But the daily practice of trying made him one of the most effective humans who ever lived. So if consistency is the secret, why doesn't everyone do it? This is where it gets interesting. Researchers call it the intention-behavior gap. It's the scientific term for the distance between what people want to do and what they actually do. 92% of people who set goals don't achieve them. Not because the goal was wrong, not because they weren't smart enough, because of the gap between what they planned and what they practiced. There's a psychological quirk behind this. Your brain gives you a dopamine hit just from making the plan. Writing the goal, telling your friend, buying the journal, downloading the app. That tiny reward tricks your brain into feeling like you've already done the work. Psychologists call it substitution. Your brain substitutes the feeling of progress for actual progress. The plan feels like action, but the plan is not the brick. The brick is the brick. This is why millions of people start January strong and disappear by February. Not because they're lazy, because they got their dopamine hit from the plan and never built the bridge. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody in the self-help world wants to say out loud. The system you live in, social media, entertainment, advertising, the news cycle, was designed to make consistency feel boring. Because boredom doesn't sell. Urgency sells. Drama sells. The quick fix sells. And every time you feel that pull toward the exciting thing instead of the important thing, that's not weakness, that's engineering. Think about what gets rewarded in the attention economy. Not the person who reads 30 minutes a day for 5 years. The person who posts a viral transformation in 30 days. Not the investor who quietly compounds for decades. The trader who hit it big on one wild bet. We celebrate the spike. We ignore the slope. And this creates what behavioral economists call present bias. The human brain naturally overvalues the present and undervalues the future. Given the choice between $100 now and $150 in a year, most people take the $100. Given the choice between watching one more video now and reading one chapter, most people watch the video. Not because they're stupid, because the brain is wired for immediate reward. Here's the other thing. You've probably heard it takes 21 days to form a habit. That's a myth, a good-sounding, nicely marketed myth. The actual research from University College London found it takes an average of 66 days. Some habits took 18 days, some took 254 days. The point? The timeline is longer and more personal than anyone wants to admit. And that's exactly why most people quit. They try for 3 weeks, feel nothing, and conclude it's not working. They abandon the wall when the foundation is only halfway poured. Let's make this personal. Think about someone in your field who seems to be pulling ahead of you, getting the promotions, landing the clients, building the audience. There's a good chance they're not smarter than you. They're probably not more talented than you. They've just been laying bricks longer. Think about your finances. If you invested just $5 a day starting at 25, compounded at a modest 8% annual return, you'd have over $500,000 by age 65. That's not a fantasy. That's compound interest. That's math. But the same law that makes money compound also makes habits compound, also makes knowledge compound, also makes relationships compound, also makes mental clarity compound. The daily 20-minute walk? Over a year, that's 120 hours of movement. The daily 30-minute read? Over a decade, that's 1,800 hours of learning. That's a university education, earned one morning at a time. And here's what almost nobody talks about in the career conversation. Your reputation isn't built by your best day. It's built by your average day. The person who reliably delivers, who consistently shows up, who does what they said they'd do. That person has a compounding reputation. Every consistent action pays interest. Every broken commitment charges interest. Over 10 years, those ledgers look very different. So what does the blueprint actually look like? I'm not going to give you a 47-step morning routine. I'm going to give you the architecture. 5 principles. Use them. Adapt them. Make them yours. First, 1 anchor habit. Pick 1 non-negotiable daily action that directly connects to your most important goal. Not 5, not 10. 1. The research is clear. Trying to change multiple habits simultaneously reduces the success rate of each individual habit by nearly 60%. Protect the anchor. Everything else orbits it. Second, design your environment. Willpower is a depleting resource. Environment is a permanent structure. If your phone is on your desk, you will check your phone. If your book is on your desk, you will read your book. Stanford psychologist B.J. Fogg calls this making the right behavior the path of least resistance. You're not fighting your habits, you're redesigning the battlefield. Third, measure what matters. Not outcomes, inputs. You can't control whether you get the promotion. You can control whether you did the daily work. Track the daily brick, not the wall. A simple check mark in a notebook, a streak counter on an app, a dot on a calendar. Jerry Seinfeld called it, "Don't break the chain." He wrote a joke every single day and marked an X on a calendar. The goal? Never miss a day. Never break the chain. He became one of the most successful comedians in history. One joke every day. Fourth, the 2-minute rule. If a habit feels hard to start, make the starting version so small it feels almost embarrassing. Don't exercise for an hour. Put on your workout clothes and open the door. Don't write a chapter. Open the document and write one sentence. Don't meditate for 20 minutes. Sit quietly for 2 minutes. The science is clear. Starting is the hardest part. Motion creates momentum. Tiny, consistent starts compound into massive results. Fifth, the identity shift. This is the one most people miss. Habits sustained by willpower eventually fail. Habits sustained by identity last forever. There's a difference between "I'm trying to exercise" and "I'm someone who moves every day." Between "I'm trying to save money" and "I'm someone who builds wealth." Between "I'm trying to read more" and "I'm a person who learns every day." Every time you perform the habit, you cast a vote for that identity. You're not building a routine, you're building a self. I want to be honest with you before we finish. This blueprint doesn't guarantee success. Nothing does. Life is uncertain. Markets change. Careers shift. People get sick. Plans fall apart. Consistency doesn't eliminate risk, it just changes your odds. Think of it like this. A healthy diet doesn't guarantee you'll never get sick, but it shifts the probability dramatically in your favor. Daily good habits don't guarantee a great life, but they make a great life dramatically more probable. That's all you can ask for. That's all anyone has ever had. Charlie Munger, who lived to 99 and built a life of extraordinary accomplishment, put it simply, the best way to get what you want in life is to deserve it. Not demand it, not chase it, deserve it. Through daily action, through compounding character. The wall you're building right now, with your choices, your habits, your daily bricks, that wall will be standing long after your motivation fades, long after the inspiration runs out, long after the goals are forgotten. The wall will remain. So choose your bricks carefully, because the most powerful thing you will ever do is something so small, most people will never notice you doing it. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Confucius. If this video made you think differently about a single daily choice, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper on the psychology of daily systems, the next video is waiting for you. See you there!